My name is Alan Roche, CEO of Heritage Credit Union. Prior to working with fine-tuning analysis, we had a real problem in making data-driven decisions because we didn't have complete access to our data. We were using Power BI, but we had access to a limited subset of our data, if you like. So I couldn't decide on any given day that we had a problem statement that we wanted to get the answer for, and then that we would just drill into Power BI and get that answer through the data out of our core system. I suppose the first challenge for fine-tuning analysis from our perspective was to give us access to that full data set from our core banking system and enable us then to be able to, I suppose, determine the business questions that we wanted answered. The main benefit is absolutely just that complete access to all of the data and the speed at which we can drill into particular questions or particular problem statements, I suppose. The rate at which things are changing in the environment in which we operate, it's at a rate we haven't seen before, and we need access to data. We need to be able to make data-driven decisions, and we need that today, not in 3 months' time or not in 6 months' time. It's been pretty seamless, to be honest with you. So we do have a person working in analytics, and this is their sort of day job, and it's what they do 9 to 5. But previously, I suppose, what they were doing was trying to take data from a number of different sources, take data from Excel, different sources, to clean it, to get it into a format that they could pull it together and do reporting on it. The difference, it's night and day. Once we had a core foundation of reports built, it's very easy to look at different constructs of data and different parameters and say, okay, well, we can build it on that report. What I really like about it as well is there's a common look and feel. So both for myself and the executive team, and then when we're upward reporting to the board, it makes it much easier to analyse and to look back on previous months, that we're not coming with different variations of reports that all look and feel differently. So in terms of adapting to the use of Power BI, I would say it was really a non-event. It didn't cause any particular stress at all in the organisation. So I think one of the things that I find about it is oftentimes you get a new installation of a product and you get your initial training and you get up and running and things become a little bit stale, and maybe you're not quite using the product for what you intended in the first place. So I think what we found is once we kind of got over the first 3 or 4 months and got used to using Power BI and the type of reports that were coming out of it, we've then been able to start going back and working with Sean and the team in fine-tuning analysis to look at, well, how can we enhance this even further? How can we develop new dashboards? How can we develop dashboards that mean something to our particular business here in Heritage Credit Union? An example is we spend a lot of time in Credit Union and looking in the rear view mirror at certain KPIs that have already happened. And we want to start focusing more on the lead measures which influence those KPIs, that we're able to influence, you know, the movement of those measures, if you like. And Sean has been great in terms of working with our finance team in trying to set that dashboard up. And it isn't just as straightforward as pulling in a few additional fields. It requires a lot of back and forth and a lot of debate, I suppose, if you like, and collaboration. And we found that level of support second to none. And we've also found it quick, which is really, really important, right? Because again, we need this now. We don't need it in 3 months' time or 6 months' time. We need it now. So a key measure of success for this project, for me, is the rate at which our team has adopted it and adapted to using Power BI. And again, that doesn't just happen once. So it isn't a case of there was a single training session at the outset and then we're expected to go fly solo and build our own reports. We've had a number of training sessions since the initial installation, and that enables our team to keep building and layering their knowledge as they go. The key benefits for us for this Power BI implementation that we did is one, it has opened our eyes, right? So we have gained new insights that we didn't have before because simply we didn't have access to the data. Two, it's enabled us to think about our strategy a little bit differently because we can now begin to think about measuring the impact of certain actions and changes that we make on the behaviour of our members, because we can analyse that through Power BI. And three, I think it's the longevity of the solution. So Power BI is obviously part of the Microsoft suite. It can integrate with Power Automate. It can, you know, it's a very adaptable system, and it's not just a case of creating a sort of an analytics or reporting suite within a silo. It's that longevity and that ability to do more and more as we develop our own knowledge and competence and comfort levels. Another key point, it isn't just a case that we have a Power BI reporting suite and we're able to look at reports. We now have a copy of our database that can enable other integrations and us to work with other suppliers. So for example, we're working with another supplier on digital journeys for our members, and it just makes that process much smoother because we can give them an integration from Power BI effectively and provide them with the data export that they need in a much more agile way than we were able to do before. And again, it enables us to be much more specific about the journeys that we want to go on with our members in a digital space. So, if I was totally honest with you, when we started this project at the beginning, that isn't really something that I had factored in. It kind of came as a bit of a surprise, and a pleasant surprise, that actually there's further use cases for this here. I think one of the things for me now, looking forward, so it's great, but we need to keep driving this on and keep improving the use of the product for us. So now that we've got a good sense of the data from our core banking system and a good sense of how to build new reports and answer problem statements from that, it's looking at what other data can we bring in and what other data can we integrate into Power BI, I suppose, to make the overall picture richer. So things like our social media analytics, things like data from our phone system, etc., which will be critical as well. They're critical parts of our business. So it will be fantastic for me to be able to integrate them into the Power BI reporting suite and just make that whole analysis richer. Look, it's been fantastic working with John and fine-tuning analysis. I think for me to find a partner who understands our business and wants to work with us and help us has been fantastic. And just on a really practical level, it's taken about a week's worth of work every month in preparing our board reports. And it's very rare that you'll find something that reduces workload that much.